Hi, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Tommy. This is part 4 on upgrading the 8-inch Orion f3.9 Newtonian telescope. We did the focuser, the spider, the aperture mask. Today we're going to look at ProtoStar, flocking. It's called Flockboard. It does not have adhesive on the back. It wants to be flat, so when you put it in a tube, it kind of wants to stay expanded. And this is installation video for that Flockboard kit. So what you get when you order the one for the 8-inch Cinta systems is 2 sheets of this Flockboard, and instructions tell you to do the first piece starting from the primary mirror side, give it about 1.5 inches inside, and line it up with the pivot blocks, like if it was a Dobsonian, which clearly this doesn't have those. And imagine if I had an F5 or longer, I would need both of those pieces, but since this is an f3.9, this telescope only needed the one sheet. And they tell you the second one, that you go from the spider side of the telescope, you want to line up the overlap where the focuser is. And I went ahead and figured that's going to be what I need to do, since I don't have pivot blocks or a Dob. So here's how it looks. There's my overlap. It's maybe 1.5 inches or so of overlap, and just by chance the single sheet is just about perfect for this length of telescope. So on the primary side, it's not a lot of light there. I'll come back to that. Let me light up the top. Okay, back with new battery in the light. So I'll come in closer here, and you can see that I've got the Flockboard coming all the way up to the CNC machine spider. So in the kit they tell you you can just drill holes, because the original spider has individual vanes. It doesn't have a ring like this. So in my case, I had to stop the flocking right at that ring for my spider. So on the other end, can't really see it from here, but with the light on, it'll be enough to see. Maybe this angle here, yeah. That's the angle. So I'm about 1 inch in, and that's a little bit more gap than I need for my primary mirror cell to set in there and just be about even with the flocking. And you can see where my overlap is right here, which lines up with the middle of where the focuser is going to be. So they tell you to mark where your holes are, mounting holes for the focuser, the opening for the focuser, and then up top here, can't see it very well, but that's the mounting holes for where my finder, or in my case guide scope, is going to go. My finder is on the other side. That's my tail rad base, and it just glues right onto the tube. And the rail on the top, for me it's primarily just a handle. It makes it easier to put it on and off of the mount. So anyhow, like I said, we're supposed to mark these holes. Well, most markers are black, and it's a black tube and it's black matting. So what I found at the hardware store. See if I can focus on that. Yeah, yellow paint marker. So you shake it up and it's kind of like a marker pen. So I'm going to outline that opening and dot those 4 holes. The lower ones are original, the top ones are the ones I had to drill for the new upgraded steel track NT. So I will only be marking and drilling those holes, as well as those top ones there for the guide scope. Okay. Alright, what do you think? I like this yellow paint pen. Dotted the holes, outlined the opening, and the 2 at the top. So, ready to remove the flockboard, drill the holes, and scissor the opening according to instructions. Okay, I've scissored the openings for the focuser, and drilling is next. So I'm gonna center punch where these holes go. Little piece of wood for backing. Just like that. Okay, 2 more. And I can drill. Done. Holes are drilled. It's ready to go in. Okay, I want to line this up. Getting there. About that. Let's see. I think it's right. Start with the 2 bottom holes and the inner piece, and I did paint, get you in view, I did paint the bolts black. Right, here we go. That's one. Okay. And one thing I noticed, the inner piece for the adapter for the steel track NT, it just barely leaves enough room for my spider. This guy here. because instead of just veins poking through, it's actually a ring. And let's see. This way. Okay, so I'll take the camera off and give you a view from here, but pretty happy with it. Got a little flap on this end. The mirror cell will take care of that. Yeah, this is so much nicer. Definitely matte black finish now. That's gonna definitely give me better contrast. And with that all the way forward, I've still got perfect clearance here for my mirror cell. So no cutting to size, just drilling and trimming for the focuser. This is the other outer piece. And then my focuser sits on that with these little barrels. Okay, there. Coming together. That's going to be tricky, isn't it? Okay. I'll go ahead and do that. Yeah, welcome back. This is pretty much the wrap up of my Orion upgrade project. I've got the flocking just installed. ProtoStar, was real happy with how that install went. Looks really good inside. I'm going to move the camera and give you a view in here. I've got the aperture ring and the adapter from RB Focus. I've got the Vader Steel Track NT focuser. I've got my Telrad. I've got the Cyc, CYCK. Hadn't heard of this brand before, but they make a CNC machine spider that works perfectly on my Orion. And got the Bob's knobs, that's important. So, what else? The aperture mask is just about the perfect size to cover those rubber clips on the primary mirror, but not really intrude any further into the mirror than that. So I'm happy that fits really well. The Cyc spider has these little red accent trim that go around the screws instead of those big chrome adjustment knobs on the original to center your spider. This is just always perfectly centered. So these are just little accents. I think it looks nice. One other comment. I mentioned earlier, this piece is replaceable with either 42, 48, or 54 millimeter threads. So if you're like most people who image, you want a threaded nose piece on your focuser. When you look at it, it looks like that's a 54 millimeter female thread there. So I got some extension rings, tried to screw it in, and it doesn't thread on. So maybe they're just baffle rings or who knows what. But anyway, I will be ordering the 48 millimeter nose piece or insert that goes in the nose piece of the focuser, and then I'll be able to screw on a compression ring for my eyepieces, and I'll be able to thread on my camera or filter drawer. Everything will be safe. I kind of just don't fully trust compression rings with astrophotography equipment, and I guess that's kind of the way most people feel too. So apart from this piece, yeah, I was kind of hoping that I could just thread into there. But anyway, that's coming. That'll be like, remember I said it's done? We're never done. Okay, let me switch camera views. Okay. Now for your close-up, you can see the CNC machine spider, the Bob's knobs. Looking at the tube, you can see that those baffle rings are gone, and I've installed the flocking, and it goes all the way back to the primary mirror. That, guess I'm not going to be able to focus on that. But it does have the aperture mask, and like I said, these little red accent rings that hold the spider in. So that's my project. Like I said, I'm going to get that 48 millimeter threaded piece for the steel track focuser. But apart from that, this baby's ready to go out and take some pictures and get some eyepieces in there. Should be awesome for visual now too. So anyway, part 4. Thank you.